Alright, well, good morning, everybody. I'm back again for another video, a bit of an update. Truck's coming along good. Been using it. Wife and I just got the keys to the house last week. Getting everything set up. It's expensive, I will say. We finally started to move. Truck's been nice because we got one load down in the truck already, and it's been good to have the 8-foot bed, to say the least. So, some updates on the truck is I didn't do too much. I put the new exhaust on. Sounds great. I can actually hear myself think inside the cab when I'm driving it. I did notice on the front tires, they seem to be pitched just a little bit, which I don't like. So I have new bearings and pins to rebuild the front end. The next big project after that, I got to take the rear diff apart, make sure I know what ratio is in there, so I can find a front diff and get the drive shaft, front diff and axles, and get four-wheel drive hooked back up, just so everything is as it should be. That one's gonna probably be a bit tricky. I was calling around some of the junkyards around the area. Nobody really has anything earlier than probably around 2010 to 2005, so getting into the 90s, and especially early 90s, probably going to have to look on eBay, which is going to be a couple $100. But as long as I can get everything working properly, I think it'll be worth it. So I got steering feels good, horn works properly. I've had to use it down here because everybody likes to sit on their cell phones and not actually move when the light turns green. I mean, driving it down here in Florida with a big thumping V8, I have the electric cooling fans hooked up on a toggle switch, but it barely climbs above a quarter of the temperature gauge, and it stays nice and cool even sitting in traffic, light after light after light here in this sweat box that is Central Florida. So that feels good. Hasn't even gone anywhere near halfway up the temperature gauge since I've been driving it, and we're already past the preheating cycle. We're full on into triple digit summer, and it's still doing pretty good. What I'm probably going to do next time we take a run down the house, we still have some appliances and the mattress and stuff we're waiting on, so we're not going to be moving in probably for about another week until we start staying there. But I'll do a quick video of the walkthrough and show people what we busted our asses for the past couple years to be able to achieve. And the big thing down there is we got all of our appliances, everything like that. We got all the big expenses out of the way. The next, it's a lot of yard work. I'll be able to show you in the next video, but there is garbage everywhere. There's an apartment complex across the street where they had the garbage cans lined up in front of the woods, because our property was just raw land, so it was just thick woods. It looked like throughout the years, raccoons and different critters dragging a bunch of the garbage into the woods, and glass broken everywhere. So it's going to be a process before we get the whole yard cleaned up properly. Want to get a fence in the backyard for the dog, and then the big thing is getting with the county to get building permits, because I want to get a nice shed and work area going. Put a carport and a slab under it so I can pull the truck under the car or the bike and work on it whenever I need to. Have a nice level ground. My biggest issue with this is a pretty good slope driveway. So trying to check the diff or the transmission fluid is a bit rough because it's sitting at a good angle. So once I have a nice level area to work on stuff, it'll be a lot easier. I won't have to worry about the truck rolling back away from me into the neighbor's garage and stuff like that. So it'll come in time, but the biggest hurdle is done. We finally got the keys. We finally started able to move stuff. So as far as the truck goes, she is running, staying cool, putting around. I do have a lot of play in the steering wheel. I know this tire over here had a pretty good hole in it. I got that patched. It seems to be holding pretty good because it was pulling really, really hard to the left. This tire, well, all the tires were about 55. That one was about 20. So they're all pumped up to 65, which is the rating for these size tires, these Firestones that are on here. So that helped it not pull so hard. It still got some. When I do the bearings and the pins, I got an alignment kit, so I'm gonna dial in the alignment on the front, and that should help it a lot. So, but that's another thing. We're just putting up and down, taking a slow ride, only doing maybe 45 to 50 on it. I'm not pushing it at all. Putting it down to the house every now and then. But a lot of that stuff is probably going to have to wait until I can get on level ground there and not try to do an alignment and rip heavy stuff apart while it's at such an angle. Alright, I'll wrap this up, and like I said, next video I'll do a walkthrough of the house and show you some of the stuff we got. It's a manufactured home. It's a brand new single wide trailer. Not that luxurious, but it is nice, clean, comfortable. Everything's all energy saving, heavy insulation, all that stuff to help cut costs, which is nice. And it seems like it's going to be a pretty good home for several years. But until next time, thank you for tuning in. That was the old girl. Hope you enjoyed.